I can adjust this right here, can't I? Maybe that's way too loud. Oh, that's way too loud. Oh, that's super sensitive. Not so sensitive. Not so sensitive. There we go. There we go. There we go. Is that sensitive? That's still pretty sensitive right there. All right, I think that's good. That's good right there. That's good. Burp. Okay. Oh, I guess that doesn't matter, considering I'm not using the microphone. I'm pushing buttons that don't affect nothing. All right. Journal. Call to final judgment. What is that? Heavy bronze cuirass. Nice. Merchant tunic. What? That's still pretty trash. That's pretty trash. Which one is the armory? Okay, it doesn't matter. Let's head over here. We're gonna like pick up some loot. There we go. Add some sound on there. A little bit of extra sound. It ain't gonna hurt.
Nothing I can't handle.
That's what she said. Blood-soaked mantle. Yeah, throw that in there. See what that's all about. Blood-soaked mantle. When it comes to frenzy, I don't think we don't have an NPC that can really utilize that, so not gonna fret over it too much. Okay, this place is cleaned out. Voices of Nerat no longer exist. Gonna move on. Oh shit. I thought that screen looked a little weird. It's like, huh, what's wrong here? Okay, we've got all of these things. Just giving the map a look through, making sure that I got everything. I wonder what this is. Maybe it's just a representation of what's on the... Alright. And Vindrian as well. What is the spire with... with the armory? I just want to get Lantry something where he doesn't look like he's constantly homeless. Siren, Varus, Dreamslayer. Which one of you is a merchant? Or are you all trainers? No. I want, okay. These are all trainers, and I really want, some merchants. I want a forge. Or something. I'm trying to make sure that Lantry finishes the game not looking so homeless. There's a forge right there. Alright, Master of Smelting. Master of Smiths. Have you completed forging an item for me? Your recruits have been hard at work. Let me show you what we've done. Okay, I'll take it. What about you? Let's see what you have for sale. Weapons. That's fine, but... disappointment. I don't care about y'all making things. I want to buy stuff. Show me what you have for sale. Exactly. Now, Lantry needs light armor. Not quite. +3 to all magic skills. See, this Magician's Mantle is like really good. It's really hard to get rid of because it's got a +3 to all magic skills, not just like a bonus to deflection. It might be considered superior quality, but it has no benefits after that. very disappointed in you. You're still gonna leave me with Landry looking like a homeless man wearing a tie for a headband. Such a shame. Such a shame. Alright, oathbound gloves. Oh, those are... Oh, it's because I've got the sigil of life on there. No, that's not quite everything I need or I'm looking for. Oh wait, here we go. Let me see what you have for sale. Exquisite bronze armor. Not quite. Forge bound apprentice armor. Nice, but not quite. Spiked iron helm. I don't know, sterile salad is hygienic. I mean, hygienic. Immunity to poison and degenerating. I mean, that's a... Nobody's gonna get poisoned with that on. Flame proof. Well, not quite anything Landry's ready to don. What's over here? Take. Oh, wow.
Arthur, Hills and Shadow must be a clever hunter. Can reason.
I don't want to talk about it. Not interested. Look. Hey, Talls, how are you? Would I avail myself? Welcome in, welcome in. I was just seeing if there was a little shopping to do. And I'm mostly just looking to purchase items that I might have missed picking up somewhere. Or something like that. There's not really a crafting system in this game, so it's not like it's not like I can just like combine a bunch of stuff. What? Oh. I was like, why do I got all these weird things? Okay. Glory to the voices of the rat! Quite the impressive tower you have here, Fatebinder. It would be a shame if someone pushed you off the edge. The Bloodchaser grips you by your shoulders and tries to wrestle you to the edge. I think we should break her arm and throw her off. But that's just my personal opinion. Okay. Alright. Chop at her throat. Here we go. Her eyes snap open wide as she makes a painful choking sound. It takes some time before she fully recovers, taking labored breaths as she attempts to speak. Ow! I wish I could say that I've made worse decisions, but this was a bad one. Bad Noxia. She punches her arm and squeezes her eyes shut, enduring and relishing the pain in equal measure. Oh, I want to spar. I wanted to toss you off the freaking thing. Oh. Just kind of like, I just want to like see if she's got something for sale. Oh, she's just a trainer. They usually try and fill these towers with merchants. So when we get to like things like exceptional sigil of precise action and greater sigil of limitless boundaries and sigil of piercing force. Look at all these. Oh man. Accent. Okay, there's plenty of accents. Oh, we're gonna learn them all. Alright. Now. Let's find them. Where are you? I just bought a whole bunch of them. Where'd they go? They should be all in here. Oh, they're in characters. Okay, there we go. I already know that one. Alright, go in there. Alright. Loading up on spell stuff. Then we're gonna look at some spells. And while I'm doing this, we have to do one of two things. We're either going to go to Tunon's court and defend ourselves from their inquisition, or we're going to go to Graven Ash and defend ourselves against Graven Ash. I feel like we did that last week, but we didn't. So whenever we go to Graven Ash, I'm pretty sure that he's going to want to throw down because he's the last that's left. And I'm pretty sure Tunon will want to throw down with us because we're getting too big for our britches. Holy moly. Let's see. What is this? Can we... Lure required 60. Nice. Okay, so this... Accents of Strength 1 and Grasp 1. What if I add Strength 2? Okay. That puts it at 70. And Reaching Grasp. I don't really need extra length on there. But we got 23 points to play with. It's too much. Now they're all a little too much. Sure can't. Maybe, yeah. 80, 90. Okay. Well. What if... Alright, so that brings it to 60. What is this? Area of effect. Oh, it's too much. 50, 70, 25, 25. Yeah, either way is going to be a throwdown. Just depends on who you want to throw down with. Will really determine what's going on. Oh, I totally dig that. Increased armor penetration of the spell. Path of Frost. Can we like... What? Oh, that's a really limited thing. Okay. Update. Cyclical energies. We'll remove that. Mischievous mass was directed force. So switch to distant impact. Let's see, distant impact or focused intent. It just depends on who you want to throw down with. So you're either going to throw down with Graven Ash or throw down with Tunon. Okay. Digging the false pit thing kind of here. Throw that on there. It gives us 30 points to mess with. Oh, I'm totally digging that. Nice. I think if we go to Tunon first, we might be able to talk ourselves out of a fight. We might. But if we go to Graven Ash and deal with that, and then go to Tunon, we'll be chided for disregarding Tunon's request to show up when he called us, and going off on doing our own thing. So I guess would be disobedient, which would goad him into a larger, more prominent fight. So it just that's how I kind of foresee it. Oh, look at this. Oh, nice. I'm totally down with that. Withering Cloud. Oh, so you got 20 points to... Oh, I see. All right. There we go. Oh, I haven't learned Sigil of Life. So let's see. Titan's Touch. Can we... Oh, this thing only takes 15? Well, we can crank out some power on this thing. Oh, yeah. That sounds great. Oh, look. We got even more to play with. Oops. Update. Mm-hmm. Oh. Oh. All right. Now we got some updated spells. They should be more effective. Now it's time to choose. We could... Oh, characters probably need a good rest too. We're gonna head down to... Oops, wrong button. Gonna head to Vendrian's Well. See if we can get a nice rest in there. Oh no, if I rest, we lose all these nice bonuses. That's okay. What's going on here? What is this? Wounds are cleared on rest. Okay, it's only minus 10% health. I think we'll be fine. It's just annoying because it's orange, that's all. Alright, let's hit up Tunon. Tunon. Your journey is interrupted by a messenger from the mountain spire. A short young man with a lank flop of dark hair and surprisingly full beard. The messenger bears bloodshot eyes and a nervous disposition. Ever since your issuance of the edict against the forces at Vendrian's Well, the courier tells you the Valley of Apex has been beset by an ever-increasing number of Bane. The creatures seem inimical I've never even heard that. Inimical to all life, and their predations have the people of Apex hiding in terror rather than tending the fields. If this keeps up, the land you've claimed will not be able to support your spire, regardless of how res- rapacious your tax collections become. The messenger asked what. Ugh. The messenger asked what orders you wish. Return to the spire. Inquire further. Give your orders. Now we can't have the freaking Bane running around and causing trouble in our home territory. This would be bad. This is bad juju. So we can inquire further or give orders. If we ignore it, that's a problem. Alright, let's give them some orders. Chop those Bane down. Lure the Bane away. Request aid from your allies. We could totally lure them away. I think we could lure them away and deal with the Bane ourselves. I totally agree. Lure the Bane away. Oh. You theorized that a focused act of magic by a mystic or another spire could draw the Bane away from the mountain spire. It won't be a simple thing to compete with an edict, but it's a plan that could defuse the issue without significant further bloodshed. Of course, you doubt that the people in the area around the spire would appreciate any bane the magic attracts, but they should be better suited to deal with them than the farmers of Apex. The question remains, which spire to use as the lure? Howling Rock, Gulf Glow Old Walls, Blade Grave, Lethian's Crossing, or we could still request aid. I would probably go with the Gulf Glow Old Walls because it's a desolate wasteland where hardly anybody lives. And the land is already trashed anyways due to killing the Archon that caused all that mess anyways. So it's you know, it's kind of like sweeping the dirt under the rug, but it's what it. You send your envoy to the spire with the orders. Every able-bodied magician available should come together at the spire as a top and perform a group ritual. The working must last at least a night and a day. The missive states, and longer if possible. The spire will magnify the magic, of course, and hopefully that will call the bane away from the valley farmlands. This messenger thanks you for your time and leaves you to fulfill your command. We gained favor from a few people. we gained favor from the Vendrian Guard, but Stone Sea Villagers and Stalker Stone Tribe. Nobody gives us a crap about the Stalker Stone Tribe. We killed a whole bunch of them anyway, so they're probably not going to. They're not strong enough to counter, anyways. Now we're gonna get into something exciting. Not that that wasn't exciting. It was.
Yes.
Face Tunon's judgment. Oh, I'm gonna go get a drink real quick. This could be really exciting.
Fatebinder, thank you for answering my summons. This could very well be the defining hour of the conquest.
Do I need to turn the volume up? I got headphones on where I can adjust the volume, so, but if I need to turn the volume up for the game, let me know. Okay. That'll probably do it. Okay. I can't. I feel silly. I'm excited about this, but yeah, facing down with Tunon is not something that is new to me. But every rendition of this game, the culmination of this outcome is either fight or peace, and you never know how it's going to work out or what his judgment's going to be unless you like deliberately planned to be a rebellious person. You know, and with this game being the way it is and things being chosen the way they are, either by dice or some other person, you never know. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. Alright, give him a nice proper bow.
I first want to make it clear why we've assembled today. After the collapse of Vendrian's Well and the start of the Civil War, it became clear to me that there must have been some great fault on the part of the Archons.
Alright.
We come together to root out the source of our troubles and determine which of the Archons has sown more chaos during the war.
I can point to the culprit and spare us this discussion. Bloodmulch aims the tip of a crude dagger at your heart. This scum who brought down the voices. I hope this isn't your intention to arm yourself before a court of peaceful legal representatives, Commander, unless to offer amusement as Bledenmark flays you for our delight. Callio offers an encouraging smile. He squints at Callio and slowly returns his weapons to his sheath. Tunon aims what you can only assume is a stern look. He refocuses back on you with cool stoicism.
Much has happened since I dispatched you on that mission. You killed the voices of Nerat, taking the responsibility of an Archon's execution. Explain yourself.
You know, 3, I think, is a very good choice. The Overlord's admission to the fact that there is only going to be one Archon to rule the tiers either would mean we would kill the voices of Nerat or he would come to serve us, and he would never, ever bow to serve us because he was definitely way too old and powerful for that to happen. So, 2, 3... those are 2 good choices. Very truthful choices, too. Alright, 3. No one epitomized enlightened rule like the voices of Nerat. Blood Mulch blinks at you, then glances up to Tunon. Not that I despair the Archon of Justice.
And you would be that self-appointed ruler. This court wonders what blood sacrifices your ambition will demand of you next.
Is he talking to us or...
The court has a serious problem to address. Your conduct throughout this campaign has come into question.
Not at all.
And you will answer for your actions.
He just... Tunon's a jerk. Accusing us of wrongly...
You have made quite a name for yourself, Fatebinder.
I'm offended.
Stories of your deeds have spread through the tiers, and all of them have reached this court. Some actions have consequences. We will see what your actions have wrought. The chaos you've sown everywhere is unacceptable. You cast yourself so far outside the established order, I cannot begin to catalog your misdeeds. For this, you have been deemed guilty and must be executed.
Ah, what? We should at least try and defend ourselves. Okay. That's fine.
Defiant to the end. That will be your undoing.
Fucking Tunon.
Hubris in the face of annihilation. My court and the world at large are better rid of you, wretched thing. Blood and Mark, execute him.
Blood and Mark emerges from the shadows behind you. He steps forward with purpose, his daggers drawn. Well, Blood and Mark should know that I just updated all of our spells to be more powerful, if not more potent. He's gonna have a rough day of it. Tudon just didn't even like. He didn't give a shit. He was like, "You're guilty." It was just like. It was just like watching Court and Idiocracy. All right. I'm going to say, I'm going to guess, you're going to throw down with number 1 and say nothing. Prepare to fight. Oh, we're attacking. All right, throwing down.
Heads up, we have company.
Let's-
Can't do that.
What do you mean you can't do that? Oh, because he disappeared. All right,
Right.
eat this.
It's a tough job being so remarkable all the time.
What kind of spell is that, jerks?
Come and face my iron!
Nobody saw that, right? Will do.
This is embarrassing. Smash to pieces!
Sorry, you can't. Oh, that can't be good.
Uh-oh. Getting hurt. Getting hurt bad.
On your command.
All right. A little bit extra health. Come on, we've almost got him.
I'll hit you twice hard next time.
Aye. Sorry, I can't.
The trick is to keep twisting till you hear the snap. Hurts
Are
when
you
I hit,
afraid of
doesn't
death,
it?
worm?
We've almost got him.
I got it.
Golden, glowering eyes. Eyes wide with surprise. The Archon tumbles to the ground. I don't know why he should be surprised. We've already killed 2 Archons. The Archon tumbles to the ground, coughing blood as dark as the shadows that billow and ebb around him. He clutches at his shattered ribs and grins.
Look at you. The surprise of a lifetime.
He grasped, drowning as his lungs fill with blood. The light in his eyes dims as his pupils seep blackness. Expanding to fill the whole lot of his eyes, a look of meaning passes between you. His fingers digging into the ground.
Don't die too easily. Won't look good for me. This brightness. is blinding.
My headsman. His life was not yours to take.
Behind Tunon's anchor, you detect a more subtle reaction. Disbelief. Well, you stepped in it, pal.
This is your end, student. No mercy for traitors. Only the cold embrace of the grave.
My response would preferably be number 2. I turned off all the extra lights in here because it gave it a more cinematic feel. At least while I was watching it, but then I realized, man, I'm like really, really dark on my screen. Number 2, you'll be judged at the end of a blade. Number 2, you will be judged at the end of a blade.
More bodies!
My power has increased. Wait, did I earn something for it too? Rapid casting and more stuff. Wow.
Pile in our weight!
Nice!
Aye.
Landry, you're not allowed to die.
My command!
Okay, we got some fun stuff to use right now. What is this? No, oh, that's fun. Insanguinate
Will do.
target.
Well, wrong weapon for the job. I need to try something else.
Wait, was he immune to bleeding? He was immune to being petrified. Oh, we definitely should have rested. I'm missing lots of fun things. We can still do this. What is this? That sounds great to me.
Ah, I'm terrible at this. How am I not dead yet?
See that? I'm not entirely useless.
Well, wrong weapon for the job. I need to try something else. Hey, nobody saw that, right? Aye.
Pantry is just like, ah!
Wrong weapon for the job. I need to try something else.
He's got all sorts of spells, doesn't he? Eat a fuzzy duck, Tunon.
I would speak with you one last time. We should not allow a formality as trifling as death to stand between master and pupil. The void can wait.
Though his face reflects no visible change, you nevertheless get the impression that Tunon is wincing. Do we want to hear him out? Or, I mean, give him permission to speak. Or do we just want to, like, stay silent and let him speak anyways? How formal do you want to be, I guess? Alright, one.
I have only this to say. Justice is more than words on parchment or tablets of law. Some may call it arbitrary or needless, as if mere words could diminish its importance. There is greater meaning behind such things than you can ever know.
Oh.
Justice has sustained me this long. Kairos is not ignorant of that power, and I suggest that you remember what I imparted. Let my example show the way to greater truths about authority, and the root from which it stems. Farewell, Fatebinder.
Tunon raises his arms up high and looks at the ceiling of his court. With a flash of arcane power, the Archon is no more.
Yes, Kairos' puppet is no more. Oh, this is a great symbolic victory. We've smashed the public face of Kairos' lawful and legitimate control of the Tears. Oh, this will be remembered as a day of liberation.
If you had told me this morning we're going to slay the oldest living Archon, I'd have thought you mad. I bet he never thought he'd be done in by one of his own Fatebinders. His downfall will make for a most amusing chapter of the Chronicle.
The Adjudicator has fallen. I never thought the paragon of Kairos' justice would see himself judged, much less in his own court.
Oh, he turned to stone! That was crazy. Oh, we got his mask. Oh, cool. Nice. Yeah, we're just gonna take all. Very well done, team. Good job, guys. I wonder... Oh, no, we can't. I wanted to know if we could go sit on the throne, but it looks like they've blocked off all the exits. They kicked everybody out of court just so we could fight. We're gonna roll up Ebb real quick, cause she gained a level. Congratulations, we beat Tunon. Spell strength, that's always a good one for Ebb. Odd or even on a d20. It's an 18, so that's an even, so that's Grave Light. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's a d6 minus a 6, and it's a 3. 1, 2, 3. Runic Barrier grants a moderate bonus swear and light armor combo. Okay, cool. Good job, guys. We defeated justice. And justice was served to justice. That's just justice. Now, because we've used up a ton of spell slots and we need a rest, we're going to stop at Ocean Spire first. And I think we can rest there. What have you made for me? Sure, I'll take it all. I have no use for all this stuff, but I will take it. Is there not at least a bed? Oh, what is this? Well, it's... How much can I make? I ain't got that much time. We just want our characters to rest real quick. And then we're headed to Graven Ash. Okay. I'm not gonna say nothing. That might be a spoiler. I don't want to be a spoiler. We're... because I don't know. I don't know. It just depends on how well our characters are and how they feel about us.
They say the adjudicator has fallen. Brother Tunon and I were not what you'd call fast friends, but I respected his adherence to order. Someone will have to fill the considerable void left in his wake. If indeed Tunon's headsman has been dispatched, then I am spared a nightmare plagued by shadows. No one will mourn his passing. I see no fresh blood on your armor, but I sense that something has happened. Where once many congregated, there is now an absence. That can mean only one thing. The voices of Narat is no more. Can this be true?
Before he can go on, Ash's shoulders tremble, and he clutches one arm to repress the shaking. He squeezes his eyes shut, only opening them once again, once his composure is restored. You never know. We might have convinced Graven Ash through our actions to retire. I hope. I wish. You know, if there's no need to kill Graven Ash, I don't see a reason to unless he wants to throw down. So, you never know. Maybe taking Tunon on first was a key to changing his position. Number 3, the voices of Narat was a rabid animal, and I put him down like one.
Truer words have never been spoken. He was a monster, and the world will not weep for his passing. Another Archon of Secrets may take his place in time, but for now, his ragged throne is vacant.
Keep it that way. God was creepy.
At last, the Scarlet Chorus are undone. We can properly conduct this war and subjugate the Tears as Kairos intended. That I can see this day, while the voices of Narat grows cold. He would never forget this indignity.
Well, I guess that just leaves us with a number 3. That's what I was thinking.
Yes. I thought we would come to this. I had hoped to avoid the confrontation. Your service to my army has been exemplary, and I hate to lose a friend on the eve of victory. I knew you as Tunon's pupil, but now you are an Archon, and so much more. I would see you continue in your service to Kairos, but as my ally rather than my enemy. Bow in allegiance to me, and Kairos will be appeased. We can govern this lawless land together, and invite the savages into civilized custom.
This is where things get dicey with Craven Ash, because you spend all this time like building up a repertoire and helping him out against the voices of Narat, and then he's like, by the way, I'm still the oldest dog on the block, I expect you to bend the knee. And then you're like, wait, I was the one who did everything and all you did was stand in this base. And the Tears are as savage as he thinks, so it's a pretty rough place. Mostly because we made it that way. Oh, no, Graven Ash. I've come this far. I've not come this far to bend the knee.
I was afraid this would be your temperament, and it saddens me. Power should have humbled you, but it has made you vain. What do you propose then? Will we fight to the death needlessly? Or will you reconsider my offer?
Graven Ash does not have anything left really to live for other than the fact that he's in control of a giant army. Mostly because of what we did at the Blade Grave and all that stuff that went down. I'm surprised he's still Snap, yeah, what?
Proposal as insulting as it is laughable.
Yeah, right?
You are an Archon in your infancy, unproven, untested, and unprepared for the trials of leadership.
Ash squeezes his fist together. Oh, we should like just keep rolling with it. Like keep those subjugation commands going. Prepare for the subjugation. Submit. I have proven myself the true general, and your army is mine to command.
Yours? By what possible right? By what mad ambition do you challenge my...
The strength behind his words falters, and Ash goes silent. His brow creases, and the severity of his expression diminishes as he looks to the soldiers around you, the countrymen he proudly marched into war. He studies them each in turn, nodding as some unspoken truth is confirmed. Oh, you could totally appeal to him right here by dropping the 2. drop a deuce on him. That's the wrong way to say it, but I think 2 is a very enlightening and heartfelt appeal to him, in my opinion. I didn't think about it that way. Look at your troops, Ash. You are their father, but I am their daddy.
I am not ignorant to the wisdom of your words.
That was
It
hilarious.
pierced me like a lance through my heart, but there is truth. This conquest has opened old wounds. At times, I have not acted like the leader that my army deserved. I was an accomplished warlord in the earliest days of the Empire. There was no fortress I couldn't breach, no distance I couldn't march. But the years have reduced me. I care too deeply for my legion to see them suffer. I lost nearly everyone for whom I cared, and suffered for those I sought to protect. I would not wish this for anyone. I submit to your authority as Archon and Master of the Disfavored. Where you lead, I go. Where you command, I follow.
Oh my god! I have to admit, I was not expecting that. That was a hell of a surmise. Very well, Graven Ash. I would say, well, I'll let you choose the, that was a good call. Very good call. So, I say with respect, we could hit 1 and maybe wrap up, the chapter of Graven Ash. Okay, 2. I will march your soldiers into the furnace of my war. Well, I'm pretty sure you can appreciate that too, so that's probably not that big of a deal.
Fatebinder, you have proven yourself a truer general than I ever was. I relinquish my hold over these women and men, and place them in your keeping. I ask only that you be good to them. They are far from home, and deserve treatment and leadership befitting their noble blood. I submit to you, As your Archon, I will obey your laws, carry out your orders, and protect whatever ways of life you see fit to impose on the tiers and beyond. You carry a heavy burden now. It is no small task to lead a legion. Their lives and their deaths are yours to bear.
He winces and sniffs back a tear.
At times, the strain was too much to bear, even for the likes of me. Devotion claims a heavy toll, and over the years it wore me down until...
He trails off, focusing on some point in the distance. Yeah, we might finish this story up tonight. Now I'll have to move into that that cyberpunk game that we were looking at a few weeks ago. I'm excited for that one. Definitely really excited to get into that one. But let's finish this up. Two again.
Your soldiers will look to you for guidance. You must be ready to take on any challenge on their behalf. Lead by example. Lead with the iron fist of the disfavored.
All right. I think some of this is just I don't think it matters what we say, but for the North, yeah.
The time has come to bring glory and triumph to this conquest. Go now and bring order to what remains of the tiers. I will stay behind with the army, training and preparing to carry out your will.
I can hardly believe it. You are the great general now. I will adore Ash to my dying day, but I never expected to see him bend the knee. Barrack nods at you with great respect.
I received word before you arrived. Though the other Archons are vanquished, Kairos sends another army to march on the tiers. They make for the mountain spire and chant for your blood. It seems the Overlord will not tolerate competition. What are your orders?
What are our orders? Ooh, I'll need a distraction. Or a reprisal. no ending a war peacefully with Kairos. Kairos will be back whether you like it or not, because he will always be in the north, or she will always be in the north, waiting to descend upon us. So, you know, there's no making peace with Kairos. Kairos is kind of like Russia. There's really no making peace with it. It just sits there being an ominous warmonger. Yeah.
If you intend to meet this offensive, I would not recommend doing so on the field of battle. The disfavored are capable, and I will continue to bolster their resolve, but I fear this warrants something more than a military gesture. Something that would cause even Kairos to pause.
There we go. An edict. Obviously.
Upon the north itself, I like this idea not at all. But I cannot deny that it is the right course of action. Do whatever you must to repel this advance. Go now, to Fendrian's Well.
Yes! Good job, Talls. I like the way you handled that. Look at, we got Graven Ash to bend the knee. Which is pretty cool. Like, there's something special about that. Vendrian's Will. Here we come. Now to cast another edict. Ooh. Wow. Okay. Issue an edict upon the Northern Kingdom. The waves of energy radiating from the spire draw you forward, pressing your body and mind to its eager embrace. At the center of this tide, the Resonator stands ready to broadcast your voice, echoing your commandments to the farthest reaches of the tiers and beyond. From here, the highest point on the peninsula, you could, with the sum total of your efforts, project your will far north, past the edge of the tiers, and proclaim your edicts as far as the lands of the Northern Empire. Oh, we got you got a lot of choices here. Wow. We could either, like, let's see, 5 and 6, we affirm our loyalty to Kairos and that the conquest is complete, or we could ask for a request. Somebody want to play Freebird? This is all up to you. Like, the world is your oyster right now. Turn to your companions. This probably amounts to a declaration of war against the Overlord. Ready. How do you like that? We made it all this way. Time to put the last nail in the coffin of Kairos' conquest. Go on. Make your stand. You've earned it. Opportunity. I can feel a coaxing breeze. Not since Graven Ash stood against Kairos has anyone made such a dent in the Overlord's defense. It's been an honor serving at your side. Come what may, I'm ready to face it, even though we tried to rip your metal body apart. And then we decided against it. This is new territory for us all. You're the first to strike a blow directly at the Overlord. Make sure it counts. I hope you don't mind if I stand back and take notes. By all means, continue. We're gonna roll with 3 on this. Alright, I agree. If I don't show Kairos my ability to cast the Edict, it is more than a one-time thing. The attacks will never stop. Another edict to plague us. Damage did. The world has seen enough of these horrors visit upon its people, but I agree that nothing less will tip the scales. Have at it, then. The spire awaits your command. Alright. Select a region and view its current edict or to issue one. Alright, there's the Northern Empire right there. And let's see. That's Vendrian's Well. That would have been the Bastard City. What do we want to throw at them? Fire, stone, or storms? It doesn't really matter what we throw at them. It's not gonna matter. I don't really think it's gonna matter one way or another what we throw at them. So you get to just choose your preference. Fire, earth, wind. I don't know how to unlock these other two. Maybe if you just completely rebel against him all the way. Maybe it's like Earth, Wind, Water, Fire, and then Captain Planet. Wind, okay. So, an Edict of Storms. Yep.
The tiers have been conquered, unified at last under a single banner. Your edict brings devastation and ruin to the Northern Empire. Some believe the edict to be Kairos' work. Others hope, or fear, that this edict comes from a new voice. Kairos' forces withdraw from their march upon the Tears, as they are sent into disarray by your edict. You have brought order to the Tears, uniting the realms with the disfavored Legion, enforcing your will. The Overlord's conquest of the known world has come to a halt, and the whisper of a challenger to Kairos' power slowly spreads throughout the land.
Casting the Edict of Storms wreaks havoc on the northern capital. The winds whip in a sudden frenzy and toss unsuspecting citizens through the air, dashing them back down the rubble of leveled buildings. Temporary settlements take in refugees fleeing the devastation from the now uninhabitable city. Survivors will all ask the same question: why did the Overlord allow this to happen? As chaos ensued in the Northern Kingdom, the armies marching on the Tears received an unprecedented order. The armies were to fall back to the capital and ensure the safety of its people from the edict. For the first time in Kairos' great conquest, the armies retreated. Soon questions would be asked in a hushed breath across the lands about what new and terrible power had emerged that could force the hand of the Overlord. Captain Planet. You fulfilled Kairos' decree, and all the Tears is now ruled by a single Archon. Your former rivals have either submitted to you or perished, bringing the civil war to a close. The Scarlet Chorus may have been mighty in numbers, but that didn't stop you from thoroughly scattering them, cutting off the Serpent's head and sending each of the gangs howling back to the chaos they sowed. How the remnants of the Horde occupy themselves without a war to fight becomes a topic for nightmares. It was thought that the disfavored would never rally under another general, but by enlisting Graven Ash to your cause, you managed the next best thing, controlling the Archon to harness the strength of the Northern Empire. You recognized their old-fashioned regiments with a new chain of command, placing yourself at its highest authority. The Legion's victories spread beyond count, and your soldiers train hard, preparing for the retaliation to come. Under your guidance, those who resisted the conquest and sowed discontent are vanquished, their rebellion brought to a decisive end. Any lingering question of who is true ruler of the Tears is answered by your impact on the reconstructed nation. Word of your success spreads beyond the Tears as well. Even the most distant corners of the Empire whisper of the Fatebinder who rose to become an Archon, and an Archon whose intervention shattered the conquest, making way for a new future in the devastated nation. Uniting the Tears under the banner of the disfavored was never your directive, yet you performed it admirably, consolidating the Overlord's forces under your rule and grooming the Tears for their place in the new order. The same people who once hurled curses across a siege soon learned to think of themselves as part of a greater whole, extending beyond their modest borders. With the Edict of Stone dispelled, the order around the Stone Sea finally settles, leading to everyone to believe the realm of Azure will return to its former glory. But the ritual used to end the edict blighted the land to such a degree that nothing will grow, no matter how hard anyone tries. With determination, Some are able to start small seedlings, but nothing ever comes of it. The memory of Karn is as a great force of destruction remains as a monument of inert rock. Most agree that the world is better off without the Archon of Stone, as the people of Azure begin to slowly reclaim the land that was once torn asunder by his power. As the strongest and oldest of their kind, the death of the Stone Stalkers is a blow to Beastmen culture. Their demise also brings centuries of oral traditions to an abrupt end. The local tribes never recover from the terrible loss. With Charon's presence preserved and the lands of Azure permanently blighted, the Earthshakers return to the disfavored. While their reputation isn't what it used to be, their success in dealing with such a decisive blow to the Scarlet Chorus by removing their main source of food has earned back the respect of the Legion. The Earthshakers are accepted back into the ranks of the disfavored, once again becoming part of the army that helped subdue the Tears. With the Unbroken all but destroyed, the former citizens of Stalwart threaten to slide into lawlessness. Kairos forces stationed at Sentinel Stand managed to quell the worst of the uprisings, but peace under the nation's new leadership is resisted at every turn. You put the last of Graven Ash's family to the sword, ensuring the end of his long and decorated lineage. Though you often wonder if more could have been done to prevent the horrible deed, you don't bother yourself with wondering for too long. Though it takes time to recover from the devastation of the Edict of Storms, the Blade Grave begins to slowly march towards healing. The realm of the Stalwart may never resemble its former glory, but the land is not so blasted that something new and better can't be built atop the bones of the past. The Regent bloodline has ended. With it, new traditions and legacies spring to life. You eliminated the Scarlet Chorus that plagued the disfavored troops at the Vellum Citadel, cutting a path through them all the way to the Silent Archive. Following your orders from Graven Ash, you destroyed the scroll, throwing it into the lava. By taking the Silent Archive from its pedestal and disrupting the preservation spell holding the Vellum Citadel in stasis, you caused the collapse of the single largest repository of knowledge in Tyrannus. The world may never know the true extent of the loss. The sages are all but wiped from the Tears. What remains of their hoarded knowledge is vulnerable, as likely to be misused as destroyed. The damage done to the intellectual core of the region is likely beyond reversal. Excuse me. Though some small groups of would-be scholars gain influence from time to time, the setback is ultimately too vast to overcome. Without your help, the small garrisons of Kairos forces are easily overwhelmed by the Bronze Brotherhood, who are intent on taking the settlement back. It flounders under the control of the Bronze Brotherhood, and what once was a thriving center of commerce of the Tears quickly devolves into a lawless town proud by mercenaries and thugs. It's okay, I control everything. We can just send an army in later. The Bastard's wound recedes into the mists of history as unobtrusively as it surfaced. The scouts you send to plumb the depths report only shallow, silent cave. The entry to the old walls clogged with boulders and roughly hewn detritus. You never learn what became of the small, factious community that budded there in the darkness. By enacting the Edict on Vendrian's Well, you announced your power to the world, showed Kairos forces that you were capable of. When you defeated the leader and scattered the army before you, it sent the message to Kairos that a new Archon is born. While the edict dissipated, its effects will always be felt as the first true threat to Kairos rule. Graven Ash continues to lead the disfavored, this time bowing to your superior command. At first, the old general balks at your instructions, but in time he grows to trust your judgment without question, working together to bring much needed order to the lawless tiers. Killing the voices of Narat spreads the joy of bloody vengeance across the continent, celebrated as the death of history's greatest parasite. The occasion is marked by all who suffered under the oppression of the Scarlet Chorus. Even in victory, one thought nags at you. Though you witnessed his death, you can't help but wonder if the voices of Narat is done with you. With the death of Tunon, the Adjudicator, the bastard city threatens to slide back into its lawless ways. Keeping the peace and imposing a new definition of order commands all of your focus. You learn to delegate the responsibilities to a new court of fate-binders, who lighten the burden and make the Archon's absence a manageable setback. The death of Blended Mark deprived the world of a most capable murderer. One less bedtime story to scare children is no significant loss, though you can't help but glance at dark corners of every room and feel as if something is watching you. Blended Mark will always cast a long shadow on your life. Not content to enjoy the fruits of victory, Barrack positions himself among the rank and file of your supporters, organizing troops around their strength and making sure each pulls their weight. His armor clings to him as doggedly as ever, though he wears it with a straighter back and lighter step than he did before. A team of loyal camp followers polishes his place to a respectable sheen each morning, and the smell that escapes his visor was noticeably improved. The medals of valor decorated his breastplate, and adjoining supporters draped garlands of flower about his pauldrons. Life is good for the towering soldier. Verse fled your company in panicked haste and never returns, leaving you as a companion short when you needed her the most. Though you never settle your disagreement, you hear of her gangs and their skillful raids on the tiers. You wish her well, hopefully that your paths will not cross under less favorable circumstances. Lantry keeps a close watch over you, scribbling his accounts on your deeds and accomplishments. In his tireless quest to fill the chronicle with history and knowledge, he follows you even into his twilight years, and together you learn much about the world. You pretend not to notice Lantry's waning strength, though you find yourself pausing mid-sentence to let his writings catch up. He recognizes your generous ruse and appreciates it in silence. Disillusioned by your leadership, Ebb sets off alone to revive the devastated school of Tidecasters. The work takes a hard toll on as Ebb struggles to explain her talents to one restless apprentice after another. Finally, she gives up in a fit of frustration, snapping her staff over her knee and making for the waterways of her people. To the best of your knowledge, she resides there still, avoided by the locals as a dangerous recluse. With no desire to remain in the company of humans, Kilzin's shadow returns to the wilderness and seeks out her own kind. She discovers a haggard community of beastmen who abandon the realms of Haven and Azure, only to be enslaved by Cairo's forces. Out of this rabble of defectors, she forges a tribe, their nomadic ways representing no established border or law. They raid villages and caravans when possible, glutting on the spoils and boasting on their severed ties with the human's world. Though a large bounty follows in the tribe's wake, no human can survive the hunt for this leader. Siren grows quiet over time, speaking little and foregoing her songs as she distances herself from your military. One day she simply walks out of camp and makes for the wilderness of the Tiers. Rumors reach your ear that Siren has occupied an abandoned mountainside temple, her vow of silence drawing a small group of respectful followers. you leave her in peace. Though you once professed loyalty to Kairos, popular beliefs hold that the world cannot support two overlords, and now you represent a threat to the established order. This leaves your future in question, but with one certainty, when Kairos retaliates, you will be ready. From your perch atop the ancient spire, you can see hints of the Northern Empire just beyond the mountains. At your command, horns shout a triumphant cry across the valley, heralding the end of one long campaign and the beginning of another. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Tyranny. Alright, Tollins, what'd you think? I expect a 3-page report, no less than like 2,500 words. You know, that should be about 3 pages. Just kidding. Alright. Yeah, we beat it. It chronicled all of our deeds and like surmised it to the end of the game. Alright. Wait. Do you need more Tyranny? Or do you need more... I mean, it is a fun game. It really is. Now, either we start a new game with a brand new game that I was planning on, or we start this game back from the beginning and choose a whole new path? Is that what... Is that what you want? Or are we gonna like... or are we gonna like... I think there was that cyberpunk styled game that I was looking at a few weeks ago. Okay. Alright. So, I haven't actually... Oh, wait. This, like, start this new game, or start, like, the other game that I was talking about? You could, like, start a new game here. Ended up doing all this stuff. What is New Game Plus? New Game Plus allows you to import your character from a previous save into a new game. Only saves after game completion are eligible to be imported. Oh, we can still keep rolling with damage. Huh. Yeah, I'm totally down with that. That sounds cool. At least you don't have to like. You can import selected items and artifacts you've gained reputation with from previous playthroughs. Imported items instead. Oh, nice. Can we just like take it all? Well, oh, you only get 2. Okay. Oh, what 2 would you take? The Cyberpunk one? Okay, okay. Well, I will get the Cyberpunk one tomorrow, and 7th. Oh, you're gonna be working out. Like, all right, so I have a difficult spot. I can't buy that thing online on stream because they require sensitive information. So what I will do is tomorrow night I will start with this tomorrow, and I will import Damaged into here. And I'm gonna kind of like just play it because it'll move really fast for me because I'm very used to the game. I'm gonna like completely like play the other side and work with the voices of Narat. But when you get online, I'll quit this and then I'll load up the Cyberpunk one, and we'll start the game fresh, making choices from the very beginning. Does it sound like a solid plan? Okay, done by 7:30. Cool. So I think that'll work. That'll work. You just let me know, and we'll rock and roll. But now I'm curious. Okay. Oh, that's a fun little. I might just end up playing this game for fun all by myself. Just reading here real quick. Immunity to blinded. Oh, that's a. Alright. You only get 2. I wonder if you just keep importing the same characters over and over again. don't think you've ever seen the beginning of the game.
For over 400
Here we
years,
go.
the armies of Kairos the Overlord have swept across the known world. All who stood against them fell before their might. Even the Archons, women and men of immense power, were forced to kneel, chained to the Overlord's will. Now Kairos' final conquest has come to our corner of the world, and two of the Overlord's armies compete for the honor of taking our lands. The elite disfavored, and the teeming horde of the Scarlet Chorus. The voices of Narad, spymaster and Archon of secrets, guides the fierce and undisciplined masses of the Scarlet Chorus. With each battle, the Scarlet Chorus grows stronger, as the defeated are given a simple choice: serve or die. Graven Ash, Archon of War and the Overlord's most loyal general, leads the disfavored. Though small in number, Kairos' ironclad legion has never met true defeat in open battle. Watching over the two generals is Tunon, the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice, eldest of Kairos' minions. Tunon brings Kairos' laws to newly conquered lands, aided by the Fatebinders, judges and executioners of the Overlord's laws. You were among the youngest of the court of Fatebinders when Kairos' armies came to our lands. How could we have known that the fate of thousands would rest in your hands?
No, you couldn't. I'm totally unexpected. Nobody expects a Spanish Inquisition. Alright. I know. Usually I usually ask for this stuff. You get to ask, or you get to make choices tomorrow. At the moment, I'm going to say here. I mean, he's already been a hunter for a while. There we go. Guild Apprentice. Shock, Vigor, Atrophy, Frost. Alright, Frozen sounds like a proper skill at the moment. Fine. Yep, that one looks good. Make it black and white. This should like just give me more skills. And then you hit Conquest right here.
All the world has fallen to Kairos. And now the Overlord's eye is on the Tears, our home. The last corner of the world free of Kairos' reign. Two armies, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, march south from the Northern Empire, the last realm to fall to Kairos a century prior. In the early days of 428, Kairos' armies arrive at the Gates of Judgment, the mountainous border that we Tearsmen so long believed unassailable. Unable to agree on a unified plan of defense, the various leaders of the Tears sit and wait for each other to deal with the conquerors, until it's too late.
During the conquest, you decide your character's actions during Kairos invasions of the Tears, shaping the world through which you will adventure over the course of the game. Each choice you make affects your character's ability and how the factions and the Tears respond to you. Your decisions matter. Choose wisely. And we've seen this twice. That's what makes it such a fun game, especially to a group of people. You're like, oh, what are our repercussions here? The bastard city stood on the northern border between Kairos Empire and the Tears. Built upon a natural harbor and the crossroads between the realms, the city was a nexus of commerce. To the Tears, it was the center of all wealth. To a northerner, it was little more than a backwater trading post. Its symbolic status as a gateway to the container of a natural first target in Kairos' military conquest. Circumstances were ideal for you to prove your worth as a soldier in Kairos' armies. Taking the city would send a message to the rest of the Tears in Kairos. Kairos' will is insurmountable. Now, the armies of Kairos took the battle to the Gates of Judgment, trumpeting two favored cards. Scarlet Chorus brought the sense of order and chaos to the assault. You went to battle alongside the army who approached. I'm so used to selecting the disfavored. We are working with the Scarlet Chorus now. You caught the mercenary army unprepared for the mania and disorder of the Scarlet Chorus. Your forces overwhelmed the Tears' defenses in a few short hours, hacking and burning away into the continent. Any mercenaries who would survive the battle found themselves uninitiated into the Scarlet Chorus, tortured by ruthless interrogators, or made the sport of competition as the army marched ruthlessly forward. See. Judge the enemy or feeding the host. The soldiers of Kairos fell by the hundreds, and Kairos are, well, actually, now we're gonna feed the Scarlet Chorus. You authorize the Scarlet Chorus to send their horde to pillage from farms and villages, spreading the infamy of Kairos' army. Prepared the Tears for the reality of the impending conquest. Ooh, that's brutal. Only too pleased to follow this particular order, the Scarlet Chorus divided up the outlying farms and villages among their gangs and set out to collect provisions. Though they returned with wagons laden with supplies, the terror and destruction sowed in their path boosted morale and ensured that everyone from the bastard city to Stalwart knew their name. Taking the bastard city, the armies of Kairos amassed around the bastard city, the first bastion of the Tiers to fall. Both armies longed to storm the walled outposts, the Scarlet Chorus howling for plunder, and the disfavored forming an unbreakable shield wall. Your prowess on the field of battle had carried them this far, but there was one more step before total victory. Both of the armies had inspired schemes to take the bastard city. Which do you support? Well, I guess we have a lot of favor with them. Why is that one a lib? Okay, you join the Scarlet Chorus in setting fires to the cities and blocking the gates, or, let's see, you let him expand it. Oh, that would have been nice. Maybe next time. Now, it was passing strange to barricade the very gates you sought to cross, but it all made sense when the fires began. The Scarlet Chorus sent a constant rain of flaming arrows over the walls of the bastard city, a plague that lasted throughout long days and tireless nights. By the end, the blaze was too much for the city defenders to contain. Citizens crowded at the gates, pleading to be freed from their smoldering city. You and your army were happy to oblige them. When the gates opened, they opened from inside. Oh. Totally choosing Lethian's Crossing. Years ago, Lethian the Bold founded a small merchant town at the intersection of ancient old walls. A pact between the settlers and mercenary company meant that the caravans were able to travel without fear of bandits or bane, and the town thrived in modest insignificance. Lethian's Crossing drew Cairo's attention for the iron deposits in the surrounding hills. With the region under the Cairo's control, the northern smith mages could set up workshops to refine ore and arm the disfavored with the finest weapons known to the world. The Archon of Secrets dismantled the mercenary support with a generous bribe, taking the crossing in a bloodless victory. Tunon dispatched you to travel alongside Cairo's forces to bring order to the region. Oh, we're totally like Siren, Archon of Song, used her arcane charm to lure the locals into joining Kairos' army as patroness of the Scarlet Chorus. Her efforts were critical in the conscription of new recruits, and then when an enthralled disfavored soldier joined her cult, his company feared that the Archon was growing out of control and needed to be stopped. In Scarlet Chorus tradition, you sent the latest batch of cultists to the front lines of the Apex campaign. Those who survived were welcome to remain in Kairos military, and their performance would stand the testimony to Siren's effectiveness. The Scarlet Chorus agreed to transfer Siren's latest recruits to the front line of the Apex campaign. Your resolution fit their traditional model of conscription, so they considered it a fair alternative. In the weeks to come, more of them returned to active duty than even Siren herself expected, likely owing to their obsessive devotion to the Archon and her enchanting music. since it disfavored most of the iron that came out. Drawn to the arcane energy around the forges, mystical predators from the Old Walls began to raid Lithian's Crossing at all hours. Both Kairos armies reserved their strength for the front lines of the war, and yet the city required protection. You had to delegate the responsibility. Well, the responsibility goes to the disfavored. At your command, the Scarlet Chorus flooded the streets of Lethian's Crossing. Infighting and competition among the unruly gangs made... Oh, I think I chose the wrong one. No. Infighting and competition among the unruly gangs made for disorganized patrols and distracted lookouts. However, when an ominous tide of Old Walls predators assaulted the city in previous unseen numbers, it took the full force of the Scarlet Chorus to repel the attack. Who controlled the crossing? Tragedy struck when a mercenary hired by the Voices of Narat injured a forge-bound artisan, leaving him unable to practice his craft. Tunon ordered the mercenaries to leave the city in the hands of Kairos' more responsible servants. Only a token garrison could be left while the armies returned to the front. As the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus showed increasing tension and hostility towards each other, Tunon decreed its best that only one force control the crossing. Oh, it goes to the Scarlet Chorus. I mean, the Scarlet Chorus flooded the Lethian's Crossing. You gotta be, like, pretty biased, I suppose. Why not, right? The Scarlet Chorus flooded Lethian's Crossing with overeager, undisciplined recruits. In the first few days of occupation, the settlers suffered under rampant theft, murder, and rape, and arson. By the following week, the horsemen had sowed chaos for personal gain. Who sowed chaos for personal gain were dead, strung up by the more disciplined half that took up the reins as the self-appointed bosses of Lethian's Crossing. The forge-bound continued to mint iron weapons and armor, which Kairos merchants carted to the disfavored garrisons elsewhere in the tiers. Shipments were light, or sometimes absent. The Scarlet Chorus quartermaster claimed ignorance of the matter. Ooh, Stalwart, Azure, Libellum Citadel. Let's go with Stalwart, 'cause that one's a pain in the ass. The realm of Stalwart was best known for its proud army. Disciplined, courageous, and undefeated in their home soil, skill and resolve made Stalwart a military power that Kairos forces approached with due caution. With its southern position, Stalwart had been largely safe from war, watching for 2 years as its neighbors fell to Kairos forces. On the dawn of the third year, Kairos forces were finally poised to invade the Stalwart Peninsula and subdue the tier's most vaunted army. What is this? Conscientious setback. Oh, that's a pain in the ass. We want the other one. No, give me the other one. Well, if I have to. Well, I wanted the other one, but this is what I'm going to get stuck with. The Scarlet Chorus commanders argued that the Horde was starving. Being the largest of Kairos' armies, they were also the least provisioned. The men were wrong to steal, but the disfavored were equally wrong to withhold supplies from their allies. You agreed with the Scarlet You agreed with the chorus version of events and ordered the disfavored supplies to be shared. The thieves themselves would be punished with loss of hand and returned to the front lines. The disfavored found this sickening aberration of justice and surrendered their supplies with grudging acceptance. Rather than submit to the Scarlet Chorus conscription, conquered locals began committing suicide. Desperate to add more bodies to the horde, the Scarlet Chorus demanded a portion of the disfavored prisoners. The disfavored denied their rights to recruitment, as the realm population had taken a steep decline. Wait a minute. The Beast of Stalwart Scarlet Chorus mages discovered a spell to turn beastmen slaves against their head. Wow! You approve the Scarlet Chorus innovation and rolled the technique and acceptable use of wartime magic. Wow, that sounds exactly like the Scarlet Chorus. The disfavored lambasted you for authorizing such a risky tactic. Kairos' armies also relied on beastmen haulers, and the disfavored argued such magic would inevitably unravel supply lines and logistics. The chorus, on the other hand, were emboldened by the decree and considered you an honorable patron of arcane inquiry. Though the Scarlet Chorus struggled to maintain a presence in Stalwart, this magic for enraging beastmen slaves was used to bloody effect throughout the countryside. The Edict of Storms, the disfavored, carved a slow, steady path to the heart of Stalwart, surrounding the enemy's massive fortress with the main bulk of forces defeated. The enemy's leadership retreated into their mighty fortress, content to wait out the war. The Overlord answered this impudence with an Edict of Storms on the peninsula, a devastating spell that would endure for as long as the cowardly hearts of Stalwart leaders persisted in beating. Knowing before anyone else that the edict would occur, the voices of Nerat lobbied for you to deliver the mighty incantation. Aside from being given a 3-day window to read the edict, you received no other instructions. Alright, I'm going with the Scarlet Chorus because being biased. Kairos' wrath was intended for the cowardly regions of Stalwart, not those unfortunate swept into the calamity of their leadership. A warning in advance of the spell would give locals time to prepare for the devastation to come. You were content to let the punishment fall on the innocent as lightly as Kairos' will allows. Confronted that you might yet spare lives, you broke the seal of Kairos' edicts of storms and read the Overlord's incantation. The clear skies darkened as you read the final words of the edict. A flurry of wind and rain whipped through the rolling plains and craggy canyons, turning rocks, uprooted trees, and hapless soldiers into hazardous shrapnel. Armed with a measure of foresight, you were able to remove yourself from the area before the storms grew more violent. Over time, nearby communities told of cyclones consisting of thousands of soldiers worth of limbs, spears, and armor and skulls. What's more, the weather showed no signs of dissipating. Several units of disfavored who fought the enemy in spite of advancing storms were caught in the Overlord's magic. The few survivors regrouped and nursed their wounds. Their failure to topple the Stalwart Legion shamed them into believing the dead more fortunate. The name Stalwart fell from use. People took to calling it the Blade Grave for the remade landscape and festooned with iron and bronze ornaments of once great legions. As Kairos' forces departed, you spared a glance back at the ruins of Stalwart, marveling at your work. You didn't have long to rest before Tunon called you into service once more. Ugh. That's a lot. Conquest complete. You have reached the end of Kairos conquest. Do you want to continue? Oh yeah, totally continue.
The year is 431, and Kairos' invasion has shattered all major opposition in the tiers. The Younger Realms, the Bastard Tier, the Free Cities. All who defied Kairos lay broken by battle, or bowed in surrender. The two armies of the Overlord, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, now control our lands. But our will is not yet extinguished. Not entirely. In the Valley of Vendrian's Well, those of us unwilling to bow to Kairos have banded together in defiance. Violating an oath of surrender from 2 years prior, we have staged a bloody uprising, murdering the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus garrison in a midnight assault. With their main forces spread across the tiers, the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus redeploy to Vendrian's Well to crush the resistance. But months pass with no definitive battle. As disagreement and discord paralyze the Archons, we bide our time and wait for our message of insurrection to spread across the tiers. The Overlord is not amused, and Kairos has one message for the Archons: crush the Oathbreakers or die. Kairos backs this threat with an edict, a magical commandment that can slay all in the valley should the order be ignored. The honor of proclaiming this edict fell to you. Sent across the mountains to Vendrian's Well, you carry the Overlord's edict to read before the Archons. As you finally make your way through the winding mountain passes into the valley, the ground trembles, and Kairos' magic seals the way behind you. You are trapped in Vendrian's Well, with Kairos' armies and the Oathbreakers. The only way to survive is to fulfill the terms of the Overlord's edict, in any way that you can.
All right. Now we've come full circle. End of game, beginning of game. It is a little earlier than usual, but I'm ready to call it a night. I'm feeling tired. It was a tough workout this morning, and I was pretty busy all day. I'm actually pretty tired, so. But that was fun, especially with finishing the game and everything, and then re-importing the character and all that stuff. I had a good time. Tomorrow is going to be the Cyberpunk style game. We're going to start it up and see where we get. 7:30 to 8 will be the start time, and then we're going to play till about 10:30 or so as usual. So thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. If you can find the link, buy some. Oh, I don't have the logo. I don't have my logo on me, but buy some merch or click follow, subscribe, whatever you have to do to enjoy the stream later. To enjoy the stream more later. Am I missing anything? Oh yeah, and join us Saturday night for Grab a Drink, and where we talk about just about everything. And when I mean about everything, just about everything. So that's it for me tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for joining the show, and we will see you tomorrow, 7:30, 8 o'clock, playing a brand new game, learning a whole brand new world and how it works all together. So it's going to be an experience for both of us, for all of us, for everybody involved. So I think that's all I've got for tonight. Save that. And till tomorrow, y'all have a good night, and peace.